Hello and welcome to this Saturday's vlog. Today we will be reviewing Doom, the first Doom game, and I'm gonna talk about a certain kind of sci-fi movie, which we will be getting back to. But first, as usual, back into first-person view, and let's go get some glass. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna review Doom. I don't have any glass. Let's get some sand then. We're gonna review the classic Doom, which is it's not the first-person shooter ever, but it's considered the one that really inspired all of the others, basically. And there was a time when first-person shooters was actually called Doom clones rather than first-person shooters. I actually like that name better. Um, But yeah, Doom is an amazing game. I didn't actually play it as a child or as a teen. I played it, I mean, yes, I tried it briefly once in a while, uh, but never really played it. And I didn't complete it until I think at least in my I was in my 20s before actually completing the game. And yeah, it's an amazing game. Where am I going? Oh yeah, I have a stove here. It is definitely an amazing game. Um, Basically, if you don't know Doom, well, you've been living under a rock. Doom is basically the story of Doom, which isn't actually that well known, I guess, because it's not told in the game itself. You're basically part of a rescue mission a research mission going to Mars. As far as I remember, there's a base on Mars, and you haven't heard anything from the base. So you're part of a team sent to investigate, and you are left back on the spaceship. And when no one, and basically what I think happens if that is that no one returns back, and no one you haven't heard from anybody, and you decide to go look for yourself, and that's where the real game begins. And basically, and it's about a a gate to hell being opened in space on this Mars station. And basically, you and people who turn into monsters and other demons that appear. And it's actually, when you think about it, it's a really interesting story about the which is I think in the Doom 3, which I'll be reviewing on another day. In Doom 3, you actually get a lot of the same story, but more detailed. There you go. I fixed the lighthouse. Let's not hit the sand. Oh, thank God. But yeah, I really enjoyed Doom. Great weapons. I mean, you have the chainsaw. That was an amazing weapon. And the BFG, the big fucking gun. You have the grenade launcher. Uh, And a lot of really nice, the Gatling minigun type thing, the shotgun, which is one of the most famous weapon of the game. Actually, even it's one of the I think it was one of the first real shotguns in gaming. It was the game that really made the shotgun an important weapon in first-person shooters. Um, and a lot of really nice enemies like the imps and the troopers and some of these big floating heads. So let's go back in. I think I need to sleep. Sorry I've been quiet. My neighbors were making weird noises. So I think they're vacuuming. But yeah, Doom is a great game, and if you don't like the Doom, you can get Doom with a little better with graphics updated. I can't remember what it's called, but look for some of the Doom front ends. I tried some of them, and you can actually get improved graphics and a front end for the game, which means it gives you more options in a small menu screen, and also give you the ability to jump, because that was not actually a thing in Doom. You couldn't actually jump in Doom. I don't know when the first jumping in game actually. It might have been Duke Nukem 3D that had the first jump feature in game. No, it must have been before that. Yeah, definitely before Duke Nukem. But when Doom 1 came out, there wasn't you couldn't jump in the game. Uh, and there wasn't like mouse look like this. You could like I can't even remember if you could look up and down. Huh. I don't know. But there was also some great user levels and mods and conversions for Doom. So there's a lot of things to do, and even I would have thought Doom would have become abandonware by now, but it's still you still have to pay money for it. But some you can probably get it cheap, and I would say it is. If you never played Doom, I would say it is worth the money. Um, Especially because, like I said, there's user levels and m- mods and new episodes and stuff like that you can download. There's a big community about Doom around Doom still because it is a big game. And if you want more history of the game, I'd suggest that you. I can't remember what the video is called, but there's a video on YouTube. I think it's called A Visit at ID Soft, something like that. It Soft, not ID. I remember when being a child, I thought it was ID Soft, but it's It Soft, and I think it's called a visit at its office or something. It's actually a small documentary. Cherry, damn it, I can't talk. It's a small movie about where you see John Romero and John Carmack while they are actually making the game. You see some behind the camera. You watch them how the people react when first seeing Doom, and it's a really interesting video. Now I have played and completed some of the other Doom games as well, but I'm gonna wait with reviewing that because I said before, I'm not gonna review sequels unless they are very similar. So I'm gonna skip the next Doom games until we get around in the alphabet again when we come back to the letter D. Also, and I'm just gonna say this now, and I'll probably mention it in the end of the video as well, and probably also in the next video. The next game I actually should review was Duke Nukem 3D, and after that Duke Nukem Forever. I'm gonna wait with both of them because, as many of you know, Duke Nukem 3D is my favorite game of all time. And I want to do Duke Nukem 3D and Duke Nukem Forever at the same time, and I want to do a kind of special episode on that. So I'm gonna wait until I have more time and maybe done some research and stuff like that on that game. I really want my complete focus to be on that. And I'm not saying that I'm not doing great with these videos, but I want to do like a really special video, probably even edited and stuff like that with the Duke Nukem. And I really don't have time for that the next couple of days, so well, you have that to look forward to. So yeah, but we're going on to the movies, and I said a special certain type of sci-fi movie. I don't know what you call sci-fi horror, sci-fi thriller. I'm basically talking about the in space no one can hear you scream type movies. A phrase made famous, of course, by Alien, which is one of those movies. A bit the basic. What I'm trying to the description of the movie would probably be some creature or some force or something is on board a spaceship or a space base and making trouble, pretty much. And yeah, like I said, Alien. Alien is actually one of the earliest of this type movie, at least in modern days. And Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3 are some of the best of the genre. And Alien Resurrection is not. I really don't like that movie. But yeah, Alien And people have probably seen it, and in my opinion, they are actually all three of them good. People are always discussing, oh yeah, Aliens is better, Alien is better, Alien 3, and no, they're all good. Stop comparing them. They are three different movies about. It's, yes, it's a sequels, but I think they are all equally good, in my opinion, because they have the small differences that make them unique and not just make them sequels. You have an alien, you have the suspense of seeing the being for the first time. You have the one alien against an entire crew, and you in the sequel it's more of an action movie where you really see how the alien operate in groups, and you see that even people with big weapons are powerless against them. And in the third movie, you're back to the one alien, but in another type, actually more predatory than the first alien, because this one is partly dog instead of partly human, which make it more of an animal instinct. And not only that, you also have the fear of the location taking place in a jail, which adds to the suspense and the intensity of the story. So all three of them are amazing. The fourth one, Alien Resurrection, is just horrible in my opinion, and it's weird because the the director of the movie, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, is an amazing director. But I guess it's just goes to show that people who are not from the US and make great movies in their own country should not suddenly make great movie they start making movies in another country, because they're not going to be great. You have that same example with John Woo. Great movies in Hong Kong. Then he makes some American movies and they all sucked. So, yeah, to foreign directors, stick to your own country for your own sake. You're just there's a curse in Hollywood. Believe me. But there are other movies in this genre, and one of them, in really one of my favorite of the genre, is Event Horizon. This movie is about a crew being sent out to find a lost spacecraft called the Event Horizon. I think they're sent out to it, or do they discover it by accident? I can't remember. I think they actually sent out to find it. And there's something very terribly gone wrong on this ship. I'll not spoil anything, but believe me, the suspense, the horror, the story is amazing, and great acting from Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill. I can't remember who else is in the movie, but it's an amazing sci-fi horror movie. And we have wait, what's it called? Pandorum. Yeah, I was about to say Penumbra, but it's Pandorum, which is also a very great sci-fi movie about people who um, are going through space to search for to go to a new planet, because Earth pretty much has been destroyed. Uh, so they sleep in teams and awaken teams. Like we're talking hundreds of years. So, but the movie is pretty much about a condition, a mental condition called the Pandorum condition, as far as I remember. Right? I think so. And this movie is filled with paranoia because people don't know who to trust, and at the same time they have to deal with something that some kind of beings that have evolved while they were in uh, hyper no, in hibernation. Uh, So it's a kind of confusing movie, but with some really interesting plot twists, and that is what really makes it great. Then we have, and this is the last one. Well, technically, well, kind of the last. Yeah. The next one is called Cargo. It's a movie from Switzerland. I think it's actually the only movie from Switzerland I've seen. But it's about, and this movie is kind of confusing in a good way. It's a movie about a big, like, a big spaceship, like transport spaceship with a lot of with a big like storage area, and I can't remember what they are transporting, or at least what they think they're transporting. But it's a movie about really, once again, paranoia in outer space, where weird things are happening. They become paranoid about what their true mission and purpose in space actually is. And once again, I'm not gonna talk much about this movie because I'm afraid I will give off spoilers. Because there's I'll just say watch it, Cargo. And the last movie I am going to talk about is, I'm actually not going to talk about it because that movie is, you can't even actually talk that much about the movie without giving spoilers. So I'm just going to say Moon. If you haven't seen it yet, do it. It's amazing. And I think I'm going to end the video here. We've been talking for 2 days now. Well, 2 Minecraft days anyway. And yeah, so we reviewed Doom, which is an amazing game, one of the very early first-person shooters, a game that has gone down in history and will remain there as one of the greatest. And we talked about movies such as Alien, Pandorum, sorry, I keep saying Penumbra, Pandorum, Event Horizon, and Cargo, all great sci-fi, suspense, thriller, horror type things that I highly recommend you watch. And as I said before, Duke Nukem and Duke Nukem Forever will be set on hold until I can really go into detail with those two games, and that'll probably be an hour-long video or something. Maybe not, and maybe not an hour, maybe a half an hour, but still, I really want to have perfect time and calm and stuff like that to make that specific video. So you can have that to look forward to. So yeah, I will see you. I just picked out a clock. Um, I'll see you on Monday for more vlogging. And I'll see you tomorrow for more gaming. Bye.